I wasn't planning on recording anything tonight or doing anything of the sort, but I feel like I needed to get this down in some sort of form. Um, so tonight, let me start over. I work at a theater, and tonight was our opening night of Prince of Egypt, and this isn't going to be about that. This is just kind of the setup for what I actually want to talk about. Um, but that show's always I've had an interesting relationship with that show because it used to mean a lot to me for reasons, and um I was religious for 32 years. And I've been probably I would identify now as agnostic. Um but I used to be very believing in specifically the LDS church, but and and even though I'm not anymore, there's still kind of that heritage that I carry with me of um even things that don't mean to me what they used to mean still carry the echo of what they used to mean, if that makes any sense. Um and, and tonight I was watching, this was our opening night, and it was this is basically the first time we've made it through the show without having to stop and fix things because it was a rough rehearsal process. But um I just there was one moment near the end when they're singing the "There Can Be Miracles When You Believe" song, and in rehearsals, at one point, all the Hebrews come out and they like bring a big giant rope and they put it around the stage, and then they do their little dance and song, and and the rope used to be there for some special effects stuff that they ended up cutting, but they were still carrying the rope throughout the rehearsal. And then our very last dress, somebody accidentally hurt themselves on the rope, and we had to end the rehearsal early. But for some reason, tonight when we opened, and instead of the Hebrews like walking around with this big old giant rope and setting it on the ground, they just kind of drifted in and just started hugging each other and like being joyful about being free. And for some reason, I just started ugly crying about it. And I'm almost starting to do it again now, and I wasn't 100% sure why. That this it just hit me that they changed the blocking so that someone wouldn't get hurt again, and that combined with just the song itself, I think. Oh heavens! Just with everything that's been going on in the world recently, and how hopeless everything has seemed, the fact that people who had been oppressed could suddenly just find joy, both in the universe of the show and the fact that because somebody got hurt, that means that somebody in power did something about it so that they wouldn't be hurt again. I don't know why it hit me so hard, but you gotta understand. Up until I started transitioning, and even for the first huge part of that, I didn't get emotional about things. I never did. Other than the only tears I ever cried were like tears of self-centered despair. And even then, very rarely. Even when I felt emotional about things, it was always like I would feel like my eyes get kind of wet, but I wouldn't actually cry or do anything. But tonight it was just like people cared about other people. People in power did something so that others wouldn't get hurt, and it seems so it should be routine, but for some reason just everything. Oh, I should have tissues or something. I'm sorry if my sniffles going through the mic. I just wanted to get that recorded. Transitioning and the hormones and everything has given me the ability to feel things. about it's given me the ability to feel things. I keep repeating that, but can you imagine going through 40 years of your life having your emotions kind of on standby, just dull, and then just ugly crying about the things that, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not being very coherent, but things that don't even really make sense. Like the last time I had a good cry was it was a mundane reason. It was like I was watching a Tetris documentary, and there's one guy who got the high score, or not the high score, but like got the farthest in Tetris, and got like all these news stories about him. And there's another guy who almost did it and was in the community a lot longer and was working on it a lot harder, but he wasn't the one who broke it. But then he ended up supporting the other guy, and for some reason that just made me break into tears. And I feeling things about things. This is what doing this has given me a life to live. It's given me something to live for. It's given me the ability to connect with the world in such a way that I just didn't know was possible. In order for me to be emotional about things, I had to be like huge, hard hitting, hardcore, sad things. But not just watching the end of Prince of Egypt. I'm sorry. I for all of you who make decisions or who have influence over those who make decisions about trans people, please let us keep our life. And I don't mean just literally, also I mean literally, but let us keep our humanity. Let us find it. Okay. Maybe there will be miracles. I can't breathe. My nose is too stuffy. Thanks for watching.